This November at the A&B Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, boxing fans will be treated to a stacked card brimming with multiple world title fights.
You know, I like to go to war too. I'm not going to back down from him. He's not going to back down from me. So let's have some fun November 22nd.
But topping the bill especially is a fascinating light heavyweight clash, guaranteed to create fireworks.
Down he goes.
David Benavidez, now a two-weight world champion, puts his new WBC light heavyweight title on the line for the first time against Britain's Anthony Yarde. A dangerous puncher making his third and perhaps most crucial bid for world title glory.
Anthony Yarde, he's a tremendous fighter. He wants to go to war. We're okay with that. Let's go to war.
From an overweight outcast to becoming the youngest ever super middleweight world champion, Benavidez has established himself as one of the sport's most dynamic, attack-minded fighters. With his diverse offense and relentless work rate, he's now determined to carve out his place amongst boxing's elite by adding another solid name to his growing list of conquests.
I'm a realist in my head. I'm not on this level yet. I've got to go out there and prove myself. And I think he knows that.
Standing in his way is Anthony Yarde, a powerful, battle-tested light heavyweight whose career has been defined by courage and near misses on the biggest nights. Strong, explosive, and hungry to finally claim the crown that slipped through his fingers before, the East Londoner knows this is his moment to deliver.
Measuring his punches and finding a perfect right hand.
In this video, we trace the journeys of both men, from their early struggles to the crossroads they now face, as they prepare for a night that could help define the next era of the light heavyweight division. Welcome to the David Benavidez vs Anthony Yarde Fight Countdown. The light heavyweight division is currently shaped by two of its most dominant forces, Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. The latter of which, very recently, was crowned the undisputed champion after evening the score against Beterbiev in a fantastic, high-level return encounter. But in April of 2025, Bivol chose to vacate his WBC title with the aim of staging a decisive trilogy fight with Beterbiev. That decision opened the door for David Benavidez, the once WBC champion at super middleweight, to be elevated to full champion status at 175 pounds.
You can be a really good fighter, both hands. You can be all-time great. You make this great.
What happens with the remaining belt still hangs in the balance, but for now, Benavidez stands as the division's newest force, ready to prove he can take the torch from Beterbiev and Bivol and reign at the top himself.
I've been boxing for 25 years. A long time of trial and error.
Born in Phoenix, Arizona, David Benavidez was introduced to boxing at just 3 years old by his father, continuing a proud family tradition in the sport.
It was just a dream that kept me motivated. I knew if I did my job right, the money would come, and thank God everything's going amazing now.
But it wasn't until he was 15, weighing an astonishing 270 pounds, that he truly discovered his potential. To help him lose weight, his father put him in the ring with grown men, where David's natural talent shone through. He sparred with elite fighters such as Kelly Pavlik and Gennady Golovkin, gaining priceless experience long before most teenagers even set foot in a pro gym. Alongside him was his older brother, an accomplished fighter himself, whose success set the standard for David to follow. Motivated and disciplined, David dropped over 100 pounds and turned professional in August 2013, just 16 years old, and already showing the determination that would define his career. In only 3 years, Benavidez stormed through the ranks with 17 straight wins, 16 of which by knockout, quickly earning a reputation of one of boxing's brightest young prospects.
El Bandera Roja, Benavidez.
And by January of 2017, he was ready for a serious test against Mexican veteran Rogelio Medina, best known for defeating fellow prospect Jalen Love. But Medina's experience proved no match for Benavidez's power and relentlessness as he dominated and stopped him in the 8th round. That victory propelled the 20-year-old towards a title shot for the vacant WBC super middleweight title against Ronald Gavril. And in a hard-fought battle, Benavidez started strong, but found himself pushed to the limit by Gavril, who even scored a flash knockdown in the final round to force a split decision on the scorecards. But Benavidez did enough to come out on top, becoming the youngest super middleweight world champion in boxing history.
Your folks are happy about that, as are you. You said that
the split verdict made it seem closer than what most observers had it, and Benavidez felt an obligation to remove any doubts that may have lingered. In the immediate rematch, he came in with significantly improved conditioning to outlast the Romanian, as all 3 judges credited Benavidez for his offensive diversity and remaining in complete control.
And still undefeated WBC super middleweight champion of the world.
Next up was a planned mandatory defense against former champion Anthony Yarde, and a chance to cement his place at the top. But outside the ring, Benavidez stumbled. A positive test for cocaine use forced him to forfeit his belt and serve a 4-month suspension. Recognizing his mistake, he vowed to avoid the pitfalls that often ruin young champions. And despite additional promotional delays, he returned to action with a swift 2-round demolition of Jalen Love to earn a shot against Anthony Yarde in September 2019.
David Benavidez hoping to win back the belt. Flurry of punches from Benavidez. A toll on Anthony Yarde. He's hanging on a thread just right.
After 9 punishing rounds of relentless pressure and accurate power shots, Yarde's corner threw in the towel, handing Benavidez his 22nd win and restoring him as the WBC super middleweight champion. With the second reign underway, the opportunities to break into superstardom finally seemed within reach. But in another hefty setback, Benavidez lost his titles on the scales before facing Alexis Angulo.
He will not have a chance to fight for that title that he's holding, the green belt, the WBC, if he doesn't get under that 168-pound limit.
And though he won the fight easily, this slip-up cost him dearly. Had he kept his WBC belt, a lucrative showdown with Saul Canelo Alvarez, boxing's biggest star, was a real possibility.
I hope that Benavidez and him do fight, and I hope it's at 168, because I think that's like Benavidez's best division.
At the time, Canelo had just moved into the super middleweight division in a quest to become its first ever 4-belt undisputed champion. But without a world title, Benavidez was bypassed as Canelo steamrolled through every other belt holder in sight.
I always knew that I was a problem for him because I was never at the forefront of, when he mentions the fights. It was never David Benavidez first.
Inevitably, fans and pundits called for Canelo to face Benavidez, the tall, relentless puncher, widely seen as the toughest stylistic challenge left for the Mexican.
What about David Benavidez, the natural super middleweight, who's 28-0 with 24 knockouts, who's been begging for Canelo to get into the ring with him?
And keeping that pressure on, Benavidez himself stayed active, scoring impressive wins over David Lemieux, Caleb Plant, and Demetrius Andrade.
Big right hand, and down goes Andrade.
He also reclaimed the WBC interim title, and by late 2023, he was named Canelo's official mandatory challenger.
So I feel like my name isn't mentioned because I'm the most dangerous fighter out there, but for the least amount of money, you know?
Still, Canelo opted for other opponents, choosing to defend against the likes of Jamal Charlo, Jaime Munguia, and Edgar Berlanga. And with his window at super middleweight closing and the weight cut only getting tougher, Benavidez decided to stop waiting.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen, at 12 rounds of boxing, the WBC interim light heavyweight world title.
In June of 2024, he made the long-anticipated move up to light heavyweight, taking on the former WBC champion Alexander Vazdik to set himself on a path towards bigger fights at 175 pounds.
The Mexican Monster, David.
A wide unanimous decision win here earned him the WBC interim title at his new weight, earmarking a world title shot in the not-too-distant future. At the time, the division was still ruled by its two standouts, Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol.
Two pound-for-pound ranked fighters will collide and decide who the unified and undisputed light heavyweight king really is.
And while they battled for supremacy, Benavidez stayed busy by facing the highly regarded, undefeated David Morrell in what many saw as a genuine 50-50 clash.
An undisputed light heavyweight glory goes to the victor. This is round number 1.
But once again, Benavidez's relentless volume and power proved too much. He outworked Morrell over 12 entertaining rounds, overcoming a brief knockdown in the 11th, due mainly to being off balance, to win clearly on the scorecards.
The Mexican Monster, David El Monstro.
The victory earned him the WBA regular belt at 175 pounds, further strengthening his position for a world title.
How big of a win is this performance in the career of David Benavidez?
This is the biggest career of my win so far because look at all the people who came out and supported me.
But when Bivol vacated the WBC title after evening the score with Beterbiev, Benavidez was officially elevated to full WBC world champion, making him a two-weight world titleist at just 28 years of age.
Where do you go from here?
I just want to be the best of my era, and whoever they need me to fight next, I want to unify all 4 titles, so if that's next, that's next.
Now, in his physical prime, settled at his new weight and improving with each fight, Benavidez knows it's time to carve out his own legacy. And that journey continues with the first defense of his new crown against one of the UK's most talented fighters. Anthony the Beast from the East Yarde, one of Britain's most charismatic talents. A puncher whose reputation largely enhanced through 2 brave world title bids against elite champions. Known for his explosive offense and unwavering heart, Yarde now steps into this clash with more experience than ever, ready to pose the most serious threat yet to Benavidez's unbeaten run.
Yarde landed, and it's not gone away, and down he goes again.
Rapper, you look like a rapper.
Are you like a rapper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this of your tune?
Yeah.
Oh, it's heavy, it's heavy. It's heavy.
I saw so many people get stabbed for anything, and these are the times where everyone was getting like robbed.
What was you like as a kid?
I was a good kid, man. I'm not even just saying that. My mom raised me right, and then when I got to like 13, 14, I started getting a bit of a temper.
Born and raised in Hackney, East London, Yarde first laced up the gloves at 14, inspired by the ferocious highlight reels of Mike Tyson.
He's kidding me. He's in his head. You know, I'm good, man. Come on, I'm advertising the ends, bro.
But his early training was cut short when his mother, worried about the dangers of boxing, convinced him to step away from the sport. It wasn't until he turned 18 that he returned to the gym, and after a brief, low-key amateur stint, he turned professional at the age of 23.
Here's a good look. Oh, he's getting excited. He is out.
Unlike many of his peers, Yarde did not come through the national amateur system. But what he lacked in experience, he made up for with raw power and athleticism. Signing with Hall of Fame promoter Frank Warren, Yarde wasted no time in making an impact, as a string of early knockouts quickly turned him into one of British boxing's most exciting new faces.
Forward, measuring his punches and finding a perfect right hand.
His aggressive, crowd-pleasing style and thunderous punching power helped him pick up regional belts like the Southern Area title and the WBO European and Intercontinental titles, all while building an eye-catching 18-0 record, with 17 of those wins coming by knockout.
Oh, he's gone, it's all over.
As his profile grew, so did calls for domestic clashes with other rising stars, most notably Joshua Buatsi, another talented light heavyweight also tipped for world honours.
And from my side, I'm down with it. I'm sure him and his team feel the same way.
And by 2019, just 4 years into his career, the plan was for Yarde to steadily step up in class to be ready for those particular fights.
As I said, me and him have always had like a mutual respect, but we're both fighters. We both agreed we're going to get it cracking. We said it behind the scenes.
But his rapid rise through the WBO rankings changed everything. Positioned as the mandatory challenger, he was suddenly in line to face the seasoned veteran Sergey Kovalev for the WBO world title. A massive leap against a proven elite fighter whose skill and experience were far beyond anything Yarde had ever faced. Yet with Kovalev's age and physical decline starting to show, Yarde's team took the gamble, hoping that with the right game plan, he could dramatically announce himself as the division's newest champion.
It doesn't feel no different. Me and Anthony have been dedicated for so long, and that's what dedication does. It prepares you for the eventual big one, as they say.
The intriguing encounter took place in August of 2019, an ambitious assignment that took him 3,000 miles east deep into Russia to challenge a fearsome three-time world champion who once ruled the division with an iron fist.
We're underway, 12 rounds.
From the opening bell, Kovalev showed exactly why he was the heavy favourite, controlling the early rounds with crisp jabs to the head and body.
Oh, good shot, lovely left hand from Kovalev.
But behind on the cards and under the bright lights of his first world title challenge, Yarde refused to fold.
Oh, good right hand from Yarde.
Got him rocked.
He's in trouble here, Kovalev, is he?
In the 8th round, he dug deep and launched a ferocious assault that had Kovalev hurt and stumbling, just moments away from hitting the canvas.
Right out the storm, but what a round for Yarde.
He's absolutely spent here, Kovalev. What a round for Anthony.
Yet the veteran's experience made the difference. Kovalev weathered the storm, regained his composure, and turned the fight around as Yarde, having emptied his tank in that bold push for glory, began to fade.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. It was the left hand that did it.
A stiff jab in the championship rounds finally ended Yarde's brave effort, as the referees stepped in to wave off an unforgettable contest.
You have a great future, believe it.
The defeat may have ended Yarde's unbeaten run, but back in the UK he was welcomed home a hero.
Even coming out here, 95 or 99% of people wouldn't have even dared to do what I did.
In just one night, he'd earned more respect and recognition than in all of his previous fights combined, proving he did indeed belong on the biggest stage.
He showed all of the ingredients that you would require in a world champion. He showed heart, showed chin, speed, power.
Riding the belief that a world title was still within reach, Yarde rebounded with 2 emphatic stoppage wins over Diego Ramirez and Dex Spellman.
Taking them all, but 2 more land and another. The referee has a good look close.
His next target was domestic rival Lyndon Arthur, the Commonwealth champion and fellow world-level hopeful.
Pat Barrett's in his corner. Quiet opening, but...
Bookmakers backed Yarde to win, but Arthur cleverly kept the fight at long range, using his jab and footwork to frustrate Yarde over 12 tense rounds.
Air of desperation about Yarde's work. Great shot! Great right hand!
And when the bell finally rang, it was Arthur's hand raised by split decision, handing Yarde a second setback and one that he strongly disputed.
He caught me with 2 right hands throughout the whole fight. I almost knocked him out in the end. I rocked him heavy.
The rivalry needed settling, and 12 months later the rematch was signed, this time with more than just world title ambitions on the line.
I feel like I won the first fight, but again, for me, it's just, you have to do everything convincingly. And for me, again, the only way to do that is to knock somebody out.
For Yarde, it was about wiping away a result that never should have stood.
Anthony Yarde playing his fight tonight, something he couldn't do last December.
From the opening bell, he charged forward with controlled fury, pushing Arthur onto the back foot and forcing him into survival mode. By the 4th round, relentless pressure pinned Arthur to the ropes and a blistering final flurry handed Yarde a resounding stoppage and a satisfying revenge win that reignited his climb back towards the top. The long-awaited revenge win over Lyndon Arthur gave Yarde the momentum he needed to aim high once more.
Koikov starting to unravel in there, down he goes.
And after dispatching Stefani Koikov in 3 rounds, he secured his mandatory position for a second crack at world honours, but this time against one of the sport's most feared champions.
Yes, you heard. Good shot to the body.
Left hook to the body.
Artur Beterbiev, the unified WBO, IBF and WBC light heavyweight king, boasting a perfect record of 18 fights and 18 knockouts.
Big exchange. Oh, he gets him again.
Unlike Kovalev, Beterbiev had few visible weaknesses. He was a disciplined, technically sharp powerhouse who was bulldozing every opponent on his path towards undisputed status.
Uppercut, big uppercut. He is stumbling.
But Yarde, now wiser and more seasoned from past setbacks, believed he had the tools to shock the boxing world, especially with the fight taking place in his home city of London.
Anthony has to just go in and just give it all. He's got a big task ahead of him. This guy's a beast. I think the more you hate this guy, the more he wants to come and hurt you.
For 8 thrilling rounds, he gave as good as he got. His speed and power occasionally forced Beterbiev to take a step back, with explosive shots briefly checking the fierce Russian's momentum.
Tonight, what a right as well from Anthony Yarde. Right on the button. The crowd rise to that one.
But Beterbiev's conditioning and ring IQ ultimately told.
Yeah, just made the mistake there, leaving the net from Beterbiev.
He drew Yarde into a punishing firefight, the kind Beterbiev thrives in, and once the Londoner's gas tank began to empty, the end was inevitable.
Moving away with that jab. Oh, Anthony Yarde caught! Anthony Yarde down!
The perfectly timed right hand broke Yarde's resistance, and a follow-up barrage forced his corner to throw in the towel, ending another brave but punishing title bid.
And it's all over. It's been stopped by Anthony Yarde's corner.
Once again, Yarde found himself back at the drawing board, his talent and fighting spirit earning him fresh respect from the British public, but the world title he craved still just out of reach.
I have to be dressed like NWA right now because I got a black eye and sometimes the vanity kicks in. You don't want no one to see your cuts and bruises, but you know what I'm saying? I got stitches, he got stitches, we was in the same room getting our stitches together. So it is what it is. As a professional, he said that's the hardest fight he's ever had. And he goes, yeah, I'm strong. He goes, now's his time, too much experience, that's what he said to me. He goes, for future, you.
But with each painful world title attempt against elite champions, Yarde has grown in ways he never could by beating lesser men.
From Yarde.
4 wins since, including a rubber match with Lyndon Arthur, have turned him into a seasoned, battle-tested 33-year-old, ready to mix it with the best once more.
Once again, you are running towards the danger rather than away from it.
Of course, I just feel like it's embedded in me.
And in David Benavidez, he'll see an opportunity. A career super middleweight stepping into the realm of true light heavyweights, yet to feel the power of a fully fledged 175-pounder in his prime.
He said that he's coming forward. I said I'm coming forward, and that's what I want. I want to shoot at. He wants to shoot at. Bring the artillery.
Unlike the two fearsome Russians who brought vast experience and world-class pedigree, Yarde may this time find himself the hunter, not the hunted.
He knows I can hit. He can hit too. One punch can change a fight.
Oh, there you go.
Strong, explosive, and armed with fight-changing power, he'll look to impose himself early, determined to finally claim the world title that slipped through his grasp twice before.
He's got the champion going. Oh, tremendous attack.
But standing in his way is Benavidez, unbeaten in 30 fights, brimming with the confidence of a man who's risen to every challenge so far.
The uppercuts to the face, David Benavidez.
With the long, frustrating pursuit of Canelo finally behind him, he's now focused on writing his own legacy, one that could make him a respected two-division world champion and one of the sport's most entertaining figures.
Knockdown score!
And with his Mexican heritage and love for toe-to-toe battles, Benavidez will accept Yarde's invitation for a war, setting the stage for a thrilling clash of two explosive, fan-friendly styles. The winner won't just walk away with the world title. They'll likely move on to face whoever emerges victorious in the final chapter of Bivol vs Beterbiev, with a chance to stake their claim as the light heavyweight division's next dominant king.